Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Charlie State and Naga Manchetti.
Our headlines today: kind, thoughtful, caring and dependable. The family of Sarah Everard paid tribute as a police officer continues to be questioned over her murder.
Calls to reclaim the streets as the case sparks anger over the safety of women in the UK.
I've never felt safe walking alone at night. As soon as the sun sets, it's a little bit scarier, a little bit more intense.
He falls down, he gets right back up again. The former Royal Marine Commando who lost 3 limbs in Afghanistan takes on a gruelling charity run.
Good morning. Sunday service. The Royal Mail says it will trial delivering on a Sunday for the first time to cash in on the boom in online shopping and as it plays catch-up with its rivals.
Good morning. 2 wins and 2 draws for British sides in the Europa League. More magic as well from Harry Kane, who leaves Tottenham with 1 foot now in the quarter-finals.
And ever-changing skies across the UK today. Some thundery showers, a bit of sunshine, the odd rainbow too. I'll have your full forecast here on Breakfast.
Good morning. It's Friday, March the 12th. Our top story is the family of Sarah Everard has paid tribute to her as a shining example to us all, who brought so much joy to our lives.
A serving Metropolitan Police officer is still being held on suspicion of murdering the 33-year-old. The force has referred itself to the police watchdog over how it investigated a separate allegation that the same officer indecently exposed himself just 3 days before Sarah went missing.
Charlotte Wright has the latest developments.
Bright and beautiful, a wonderful daughter and sister. Words from the family of 33-year-old Sarah Everard, who went missing in South London more than a week ago. Last night, her loved ones released this tribute after human remains were discovered in the search for her. She was kind and thoughtful, caring and dependable. She always put others first and had the most amazing sense of humour. She was strong and principled, and a shining example to us all. This morning, a serving Met Police diplomatic protection officer remains in custody, suspected of kidnap and murder. He was arrested in Kent on Tuesday. Yesterday, he was taken to hospital after suffering a head injury while in custody. Officers have now been granted more time to question him. Just 3 days before Sarah disappeared, police received a report alleging the suspect had exposed himself in a fast food restaurant. Now the police watchdog has announced it will investigate whether officers responded to that appropriately. It will also separately assess the actions of police after Sarah was reported missing. At the site of the discovery of human remains, police officers laid flowers brought by the public. Sarah's death has prompted an outpouring of shock and anger as women across the country share their own experiences of feeling unsafe. But for now, her family have made a simple appeal for anyone with information to come forward. Charlotte Wright, BBC News.
In a moment, we'll talk to Simon Jones in Ashford in Kent, where an intensive police search is ongoing.
Let's go first, though, to Scotland Yard to get more detail from Charlotte Wright. Morning to you, Charlotte. The murder investigation, of course, is continuing. Just give us a little bit more information on the Met Police putting itself under scrutiny in connection with separate but clearly connected charges.
Morning, yes. Well, while the police investigation continues, the investigation into the police will also begin because the Met is facing pretty serious questions at the moment, in particular after it emerged that the suspect had been accused of indecent exposure 3 days before Sarah went missing. Now, we know 2 officers are being investigated by the Independent Office for Police Conduct over their response to that accusation. That is one of 5 investigations being carried out by the IOPC. They're also looking into the Met's response to the initial report that Sarah had gone missing, and they're looking at how the suspect sustained a head injury while in custody. Now, of course, this is something that has elicited a huge response across the country and across the world, and a number of people are keen to hold a vigil in Sarah's name on Saturday afternoon, a socially distanced vigil, but they say
say that the Met Police have told them that they can't do that. Of course, in the current lockdown, these large gatherings can be dispersed by the police and they can issue some pretty hefty fines as well. So this group, who want to hold the vigil, say that they'll actually be going to the High Court today, challenging the Met's interpretation of the coronavirus restrictions, they say. So you can tell the strength of feeling that's around about this issue at the moment.
Charlotte, thank you.
Now, Simon Jones is in Ashford in Kent, where police found human remains on Wednesday. Simon, good morning. The investigation there, as we were saying yesterday, likely to continue for some time.
Yes, and there's a sombre mood at the investigation site this morning. I think the real enormity of what has happened over the past few days is starting to hit home, and it has affected the public as well, because I was here yesterday as police walked down this road. They had flowers brought by members of the public who didn't know Sarah Everard, but they wanted to express their sympathies to her family, and her family making that statement yesterday, really bringing home the enormity of what has happened to them, talking about her being kind and caring, bright and beautiful. Now, the family is also appealing for anyone with information to contact the police, however insignificant they might think that information is. And certainly the investigation here has been continuing at pace. Yesterday, some mobile officers were brought into the site. We saw divers and sniffer dogs. It appears the police are going to be here for some time to come. And of course, the key thing for them, questioning the suspect, a serving Met police officer. They have been granted more time to talk to him.
Simon, thanks very much. Simon Jones there.
Wales will begin its easing of lockdown rules from this weekend to allow more mixing between households, indoor care home visits and outdoor sports.
Hairdressers and barbers can also reopen from Monday, but non-essential retailers will remain closed until March 22nd. Here's more from our correspondent Mark Hutchings.
As shopping experiences go, it's not a bad setting, but the high streets of rural Monmouthshire are just as desperate as city centres to get back into full trading. Since the December lockdown, Tommy Brooks has swapped hairdressing for a temporary job cleaning on a building site. He's ready to reopen, almost as keen to get customers back through the door as they are to get a haircut.
Going off last time, what we did was we actually contacted all clients, so we'll probably do the same again and rebook them in order. But from the last experience, the first week back, I could have probably just had someone full-time on the phone because the phone was just non-stop. Obviously, everyone is desperate for a professional haircut at the moment.
It is a rather mixed bag of news from the Welsh Government. From tomorrow, stay at home becomes stay local. The guidance is 5 miles, though those in rural areas are afforded more leeway. 4 people from 2 households can socialise outdoors, including gardens. On Monday, hairdressers return. And from March the 22nd, those shops already open, such as supermarkets, can sell non-essential items. But it won't be until April the 12th that all other shops and close contact services can open.
Hello there, click and collect.
Those clicking then collecting are helping things tick over, but only just. For most traders here, as elsewhere, Christmas came and went rather early. So they'd rather like springtime to be the season to celebrate. Mark Hutchings, BBC News, Abergavenny.
COVID restrictions will be relaxed in Scotland from today. Up to 4 people from 2 households will be able to meet up outside, while up to 15 people can exercise together outside. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says the new rules are possible because of what she calls good progress in suppressing the virus.
The government is to hold a public inquiry to examine whether the construction of a controversial new coal mine should be allowed to go ahead in Cumbria. The local council had backed the proposal, which supporters argue could create hundreds of jobs, but environmentalists say the development would damage the UK's reputation in the run-up to a major UN climate summit in Glasgow later this year.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.